Okay, you guys, we're here at beautiful Sunset Cliffs Park here on a very nice day. The surf is up, and we're just about ready to wind up our unit on geology for second grade. And we're going to talk about erosion today. Erosion is part of what shapes America's landscapes and the world's landscapes. So let's go take a look at erosion. All right, guys, we're just, I'm trying to do a selfie here, but yeah, erosion occurs constantly all around the planet every day, every second of every day. There are several different ways that the planet is eroded. We've discussed some of them. Wind is an erosive force. People, erosion, cause erosion. Animals, plants. But water is the most erosive force on our planet. Water in all its forms. Water with just straight water flowing down from the hills, bringing with it rocks and stones, and as they tumble down to the beach, becoming sand. And then also water as ice. Great valleys have been carved out by what we call sheets of ice that are called glaciers. And these also form different types of erosion, and then the result of that erosion causes other types of erosion. So water is a huge force of erosion, and we're going to look more about the local erosion here in Point Loma. So let's go. Now, as we walk down this path towards where we're going to stop first, you'll notice that this area has not only been planted and improved by people. The natural vegetation, these lemonade berry plants, have been here for literally centuries, and these plants have held onto the land because the plants need the land in order to grow. They need to put down their roots, and it's those roots that help the plant survive, but also can cause erosion. And we'll try to see if we can find some evidence of that as we walk down this path towards the beach. Okay? So on the way down, you see this path that we're taking a bit off trail here, but you can see the areas where erosion has taken place. The rain that falls on top of this little hillside falls down, and it follows the path of least resistance, meaning the deep little, I guess, valleys, if you want to call them. These are not valleys. These are only like, I mean, there's my foot, so it's not that deep. So, but they're little crevices, and the water falls down, and it flows. But taking with it all this material with each and every rain, it's a little bit dusty here, and it's that dust that gets carried down to the beach. And so you can see evidence of the water, how it came down, and it washed down these little kind of like sandstone pebbles or mud pebbles, and then the pebbles flow down into this little thing. The bigger ones stay because they are heavier and they can stay, but the light material gets eroded, and as it goes down, it continues its path. And as you can see, footprints where people are stepping off trail, that also causes erosion. So water is causing erosion. This is really strong evidence of erosion. You can see how the rain it rolled down the side of this little kind of culvert right here, and that it brought with it the sand and saturated the land, and as it becomes saturated, it falls. It's interesting here too, there are evidence of native people in Point Loma, and there could be little shards of pieces of previous cultures that you would find in these areas. All right, an example of animal erosion. This is burrow of some sort. Is probably more likely a gopher hole, and gophers are little rodent animals that live underground for most of their lives, and they're cute, but they are very erosive. What happens is they build these tunnels. There's one, and this is probably the same animal right here, and they just burrow underground, and they find these little places where they can dig, and then as they continuously dig the topsoil, as another animal might roll over the top or walk across the top, and then it caves in and then causes even more erosion. So evidence of animal erosion. So we've seen people with their foot traffic, and then we've also seen gophers. All right, this is our attempt as people to slow down erosion. And as you can see, there's a bridge that was built there, surfer going across, and they throw these harder rocks into this little area. Therefore, when the water flows, it doesn't carry the substrate or the ground with it and make it deeper and deeper. They want to keep this as is, and so they create this little area where there's hard rocks that stabilize the land down below. And if you look down here, there's not rocks down there. They're going to allow that to go away naturally. You can see the caged rocks here, the river rock that's been caged, and what they do with that is rather than allow the rocks to roll down the hill, they cage them up in this wire to keep it steady. A little bit of pollution there, unfortunately. Now here's what you call some really good root erosion going on here. As the tree grew, it was once rooted inside a big plot of land, all right? And that land extended probably all the way across this little thing, as I remember. But then as water flowed down and eroded this off, it started getting closer to the root system of the tree, and that loose dirt around the roots was able to be easily carried down the way here. And as years go by, they continuously erode back and back and back, and you can actually see some erosion right here. You can see this kind of silty sand right here. This is all eventually going to end up on the beach, and so a lot of our beach sand right here in Point Loma comes right from the area just above, and then some of it, well, I guess it all comes from above, but some of it is carried down right from the cliffs, and that's where we're going to go next. All right, this little access area here down to the lower beach at South Sunset Cliffs is all caused by erosion. You can see the wetness of the water from all the surfers walking up the trail this morning, because the waves are so good, the surfers have been surfing. But anyway, this trail leads all the way down to the beach. All right, so we have natural erosion, and then we have unnatural erosion, which is right here. You can see somebody has cut steps to get down to the beach right here. All right, so we are right down here on the beach here at Sunset Cliffs Natural Park. We're down here at the area. We know this surf break right here in front. It's called Abs, and you can see firsthand right now, you know, the ocean, especially with wave action, is relentless. It comes constantly in and constantly recedes, and as it does that, we get what is called erosion of the cliffs and undercutting. This whole area has been undercut, and if you look right up here, as it gets cut back, you see the striations, the waves that go across here. The softer rocks are falling down. You can see it happening right here. And as that gets undercut more and more and more, those rocks that you'll see, these big chunks of dirt, fall down onto the beach and become these little chunks of rock. I'm a little bit wary of being underneath here because they can fall down at any time, and then they get eroded by the sea. As the sea comes in, the ocean causes the water to wash over the rocks, and then also the abrasion of the sand also causes erosion. there's something you see right here. This is what we call natural tar, or what they would use back in the day for the native people would use this, as they call it, pitch. And they would use this natural tar that seeps from the ocean floor, and this natural pitch, they can heat it up into a liquid, and as it dries it gets really hard like this, and it's kind of sticky. So it's just like kind of the stuff they put on the roof of your house or on the street, that kind of tar smell. And if you smell it, you can put it on your finger, you can smell it. It smells just like tar. But one simple trick to get rid of it when you step out onto the beach is use suntan lotion. Suntan lotion, just get a little bit on a piece of towel or even your finger and just rub suntan lotion on it, and get it off your feet, so you don't track it all over your car and stuff. All right, so what we're looking at here is a boulder field, and this was caused by erosion. If you can look up right here, you'll see at one time there was a wall, and that wall at the very top there was once about maybe 20 feet farther out, or maybe at least 10. And over time the cliff was undercut, and right to the right of where you see the wall right there, you'll see a crack. And that crack is worrisome to geologists in safety, and that whole section with that crack in it could actually fall down one day. One thing constant on Earth is gravity, and gravity is constantly pulling on that. And one day when it decides to let go, it'll let go. All right, so what we have here is a boulder field. This boulder field, it comes and it goes, and you're probably thinking, how does that happen, Mr. Cleaver? Well, the way it happens is that the sand is a dynamic material, meaning that it moves. And so just last week I walked across right here, and there were no boulders here. It was completely covered with sand. So as the ocean swell changes its angle from north to south to west, the sand is either scoured away or brought on top, and that scouring of the sand also creates erosion. All right, so we're looking at a hole in a rock, actually many holes in a rock. And you might be thinking, Mr. Cleaver, why would anybody come out here to this beach and drill all these holes into this rock? And your answer is, well, people didn't do this. This is another form of animal erosion. It is caused by worms. At one time, this rock was out there underneath the ocean, and it dislodged and was tossed with waves onto the beach. And in this area, this rock reef, worms had decided to create little homes here, and they decided to try to get into this rock so that they could have a safe place. And so that's why you see rocks that are usually softer in nature have these little holes in them. They're created by sea worms. Okay, so earlier we had talked about earthquakes and faulting, and how Point Loma was created by uplifting. One plate on the Rose Canyon Fault slipped under the other side of the plate, and it lifted Point Loma right up out of the sea. And you can see the many layers, but this is a great example of a fault line. Okay, and what you notice here is that you'll see these vertical cracks right here. And I know this isn't part of erosion, but it can be, because where their fault lines are, there is erosion, I notice. But the way you can tell that it's not, there's been some shift here, is like, if you look at this right here and see the width of this, it kind of matches down here. And so the level between here and here, either these sides are going down, okay, which is more likely the cause, or this one is shifting up. So at one time, these cracks on either side is what we call a fault line, and it kind of travels all the way up through Point Loma, and who knows how far it goes down underneath the soil and into the earth. All right, so this is another form of erosion, which you'll see right here. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I hope you can. But at any rate, you'll notice that the land above this darker area is a little bit drier, and down below it's wetter. But what happens is the land that is inland a little bit more, this is Point Loma still, will filter through into a rock layer that will transfer that water easily out towards the beach. So you will have what is called leaching. This water kind of leaches through the soil and out onto the beach, causing an area that is less stable. All right, guys. Hey, it's this is going to be about it for our geology unit. I just want to let you know that it's been really fun getting out in the open and sharing some real video with you guys about the things we've been studying. We've been studying earthquakes and river flows and water cycles and all kinds of really fun activities here in Point Loma and San Diego. And I just want to let you know that geology is a great thing to study in college. There's all kinds of jobs you can get in the geology world. And as you grow older, if you like this kind of stuff, you might want to just become a geologist. So this is Mr. Cleaver signing off. And have a great time when you come down to the beach and just take a look at all the land and all the wonders. Goodbye. You know, guys, this is Mr. Cleaver once again, and I just wanted to let you know that these caves look intriguing and they look like they'd be fun to walk into, but please, please, please do not go into these caves at any time. It's not worth it. As a lifeguard, you guys know I'm a lifeguard during the summertime, and we've had some land failures and some cave collapses where people have actually died inside the cave. If this collapses on you, there's no amount of equipment or time that we're going to be able to get down here to get you and to get you out safely. So please, please, please be aware of your surroundings and don't go into these sea caves. They are very, very dangerous.